Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's Doctor Who review is a very different Big Finish Doctor Who review. Yes, it's classic Doctors meet modern monsters. So, without further ado, let's get into the review. Now, the first story begs to ask the question, what would happen to history if Michelangelo never completed the Sistine Chapel? Hand of God reaching out to Adam. A painting that is well renowned in history for its beauty and complexity, one of the greatest art pieces ever to be produced. So, what would happen? Well, the story brings us back to seeing the weeping angels. And it turns out that an order has been arranged by the human race in which to pretty much free the weeping angels from a carving of stone. In doing this, it erases Michelangelo from history and stops him from completing his work. The Doctor and a couple go off in hopes of stopping the weeping angels. But the only problem for the Doctor is the couple and him keep meeting in the wrong order. It turns out that they know him before he knows them. A past version of the Doctor is walking around ancient history when he comes across a two couple who seem to know exactly who he is. He's absolutely confused, but they point out that they were at a exhibition at the Sistine Chapel, walking around looking at all of Michelangelo's great works. But something was wrong. The statue of David was missing, and it was replaced by a weeping angel. After hours after noticing this, the couple gets sent back in time. And in doing so, when they get separated, it causes a mass hysteria with the people of the time. The people of the time have never seen a mobile phone before, and of course, the Doctor tells a young woman to put her phone away, being too worried it may attract too much attention. Her husband is off elsewhere and comes across Michelangelo. He accidentally invents a sandwich, and he also accidentally gives Michelangelo the idea for Adam and God to have their hands connected on the painting. Although the Doctor is very frustrated by this, he's got bigger problems to deal with. Once he realizes exactly what they're talking about with the weeping angel, he points out to them that they need to stop the angel before it gets to Michelangelo. Luckily for them, they use the angel against the Order of the Angels and manage to trap the angels in a quantum lock as they look at the mirrors, endlessly looking at themselves, not being able to move. But they still have one problem. One of the angels is still on the loose, and the only way to stop it is to chain it up. Michelangelo's ex-servant, who got sent back in time by the angel, turns up just at the last second, just when they need him. He locks the angel in place with the chains that he was locked up in for being a heretic about the angel. Then the Doctor has to say his goodbyes. After history is set back in place, the couple asks why they can't go back to modern day, and the Doctor points out because they've been touched by an angel, they can't, due to history and all the events being locked in place. For history to be set back in place, they must always live in that period of time. But the good thing is, at least they get to see Michelangelo's painting when it's first displayed to the public. The second story, featuring Colin Baker's sixth Doctor, features Colin Baker taking a platoon of Judoon to court. The Doctor crosses paths with a sentient Judoon who has escaped his platoon, named Kaibo. Kaibo seems to have a fascination for poetry, but in landing on prehistory Earth, he gets locked up in a circus. The Doctor frees him from the circus, but asks him what he's doing on Earth. Kaibo explains the fact that he has been escaping his regiment after feeling some strange sensation after escaping from his attacking platoon. After Kaibo explains the situation of the terraforming to the Doctor, they both take the platoon to the court to explain to them the fact that Kaibo did not use cowardice and did not willingly mean to leave his regiment. But after figuring out exactly what was happening on the planet that he was there to terraform, he chose to leave in hopes of saving lives. It turns out that the Judoon had been hired by a company which was going to terraform a planet even though there were living beings on it. Maybe not visible to the naked eye, but the beings were sentient and they could live. The company tries to plead negligence, and of course, this not really standing up in court. The court rule in the favour of the Judoon, pointing out that the company need to have sanctions put on them and they need to pay for the price of everything they've done. The Doctor helps in these proceedings by broadcasting the whole court case to the Intergalactic Council, now making it very clear to the galaxy exactly what has been done. In the harvest of the Syrax, the Doctor comes into encounter with a human race in the very far future. It turns out that the human race have been using drugs to stop themselves from feeling any emotions or any sense of dread, and in doing so, they have also donated all their blood to a blood bank. Little do they know that the corporation behind the blood bank have been selling them off to the Syrax. The Syrax have been trying to break into the vault in hopes in taking over the human race and enslaving them. The seventh Doctor, played by Sylvester McCoy, turns up and intervenes. He points out to them that feeling something isn't always a bad thing. Grief, sadness, hope, anxiety. They're all things that make the human race human. Sadly, the Doctor's not able to save the hostages, but he does manage to defeat the Syrax, at least for now. During the course of this story, one of the main characters we're introduced to becomes very fascinated, even though the Syrax are very morbid. She's very fascinated by their culture and their statues, but she can't deny the fact that she sees them as a race of monsters. The Sontaran Ordeal. A Sontaran warrior disgraced and disowned by his own race, all on the basis of some falsified rumours from another Sontaran general. A war-stricken doctor, played by Paul McGann, is walking around a world that once was peaceful and tranquil, but has now turned to nothing more than war and rubble. He comes across the inhabitants of the world and begins to ask them how long the war's been going on. They point out that it's been going on for millennia, but the Doctor secretly knows this isn't true. The pair of them capture a Sontaran dishonoured general, and as they run through the sand dunes and away from sandworms, they begin to discover more and more about this general. Whilst the Doctor goes off exploring for a while, the general begins to put the Doctor's foot in it, pointing out that the Time Lords, which the Doctor is, caused all of this, and that he cannot be trusted. She doesn't trust the Sontaran, but soon she learns to know that most of his words are true, although a little bit far-fetched. The Doctor manages to help stop the Sontaran invasion, but at the cost of his friend's friendship. After being shot in the neck by the Sontaran and pretending to be dead, and being laid in a furnace, the pair of them escape, and a peace is settled for now. But the Doctor and his new friend begin to agree that bygones should be bygones, and that life on this world will never be the same. He also points out that he's happy that her sons can be free for now, but they will never know true freedom from the cold hand of war. So what did I think of Classic Doctor's New Monsters? Well, for Volume 1, this is a very good start. Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, and Paul McGann all absolutely play their heart out in this. I love how each Doctor assesses the situation and faces each of these modern enemies in a very intricate light. The Seventh Doctor definitely brings it home the most, I feel, in this box set. as his way of dealing with the Syrax is very bubbly but also very cold at times. The Sixth Doctor, played by Colin Baker, definitely does a good job as well with the Judoon. I really like his kind of sympathy for them. He believes that they can be more than just police brutes, and that often can translate even into real life, where people don't often see people as more than brutes. Paul McGann and Peter Davidson definitely are the more stoic doctors in this box set. They both have this face on attitude and don't take any prisoners. They both know that time is causing ruckus, but they also know that they can't really do much about it. But they're going to do the best they can. And for that reason, I give Classic Doctors New Monsters Volume 1 an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, and allons-y, you beautiful Whovians.